up, Wedding Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89. Today's Manga Nerdigan live reaction video is going to be for Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 159. So before I get into this recap and live reaction, let us just remind you to hit that like, share, and subscribe buttons. And if you love what we're doing and want to help keep this channel alive and kicking, feel free to hit up our Cash App and PayPal. Those links are in the description box below. So last chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, Itadori got his Kagane, and yeah, he's already entered into the calling game. And we found out that the colony that he is in Tokyo number 2. And we are now, devising a strategy. And so we know who we're also going after as well. We are going hunting. I'm really looking forward to this because let's be real, the calling game has, the countdown to the calling game has really begun. Let's get to this chapter, see what's in store for us this week. And this chapter is titled Judgment. Once that man stood fast in the world of justice, never averting from his nature. Japan's criminal justice system has a conviction rate of 99.9%. I had a cat. I have a kitties. You know, Zeno, I have to say this right now. Your timing is just so impeccable. I don't know what is with you, Zeno. You are so epic. Yes, you are. You had a cat, but I have a kitty. I had a cat. Continue. A police officer suddenly called out to me, and soon there were 2 and then 3. I thought that if I was apprehended, my cat would die, because my police had a no-pet policy. I was the only one that knew of my cat. In March of 2016, at Iwate Prefecture, Morioka, Morioka City, there was an incident where 2 people, a young girl and her mother, were found stabbed to death in their home. The Morioka district attorney prosecuted Oi Keita, a man who lived nearby, under the suspicion that he robbed and murdered the 2. The story up to his arrest goes like this. Oi ran away during a patrolling officer's checkup questioning, and after following him into his home, the police officer discovered a bloodstained knife. He was arrested on the spot. In a DNA test that later took place, they found that the blood on the knife matched the DNA of the victims. Oi remained insistent of his innocence, and in regard to the knife that served as evidence, I picked it up. It's not mine. That's ridiculous. I mean, he only refused the checkup questions because he had a guilty conscience, right? No, it was because he had an acquaintance who used drugs, and that got him subjected to an unfair hearing before, and that was traumatizing for him? Even so, he said he picked up a bloody kitchen knife? Why? Apparently he intended to deliver it to the police later. Later? I know everything he said sounds so unreasonable, but Oi's environment, I'm beginning to think he's telling the truth after considering the nonprofit organization that he lives and works at. Nonprofit organization? Their main activities included providing shelter for and aiding the elderly with living independently. Oi worked there as a caretaker, but he wasn't receiving any paychecks. All he got was some money dubbed as an allowance and provisions in the form of bentos and food ingredients. Despite all that, he was forced to pay 50,000 yen a month for rent. How dreadful. That is fucked up. Why should he have to pay? If he's doing all that, shouldn't rent just be included in the pay? Like, if he is doing all that, if he is being a caretaker like that, you're giving him food anyway, you might as well include rent in that. I also heard that a decent amount of the people there have a criminal record. As for why he couldn't immediately turn in the weapon as evidence, we're not supposed to call them because police cars and ambulances would inconvenience the neighbors. That organization is pretty gray, isn't it? Yes, they're a shade of gray that's exceedingly close to being black. Ooh, I like that saying. Yes, they're a shade of gray that's exceedingly close to being black. So they're not like completely like evil or like completely fucked up, but they're shady. That's shady as fuck. I like that. We're already having an increase in shady nonprofit organizations. Well, I should say a shade of gray that's exceedingly close to being like fully corrupt. I like that. That's really good. I'm gonna use that. I will totally be using that saying. We're already having an increase in shady nonprofit organizations ever since the earthquake reconstruction funds have started flowing into northeastern Japan. Oh boy. We've had a lot of shady nonprofit organizations, period. I wouldn't be surprised if the weapon really was just lying on the ground somewhere. There's a decent chance that Oi is innocent. First, we'll dig up information on the organization's track record, tax returns, and background of all members. I'll question Oi as thoroughly as I can to get as much information as possible. So, Shimizu, I want you to move forward with this investigation. Also, can you take care of a cat? Aren't you asking a lot from me all of a sudden? I love my kitty. Don't punish the kitties. Right, Seno? Never punish a kitty. Kitties are cute. Yeah, it's cute. But you got a little something there. A defense attorney has so much to do despite having a low salary, and if it's a murder charge, there's no chance of a suspended sentence, and he might even receive the death penalty. The public opinion is that defendants are always guilty. Doing this is just a waste of time. Oh, the court of public opinion is full of dumbasses. Yes, I am calling them dumbasses, because they won't wait for all the facts. No, because they have the attention span of a flea, and they are a bunch of sheep that'll just believe anything you tell them. Geez, Higuruma-san, why do you accept a case like this? It's fine. Sometimes I'll get rusty if I only take it on easy cases. It's not sometimes. It's not sometimes. You're thinking out loud. Seems like Higuruma-kun hasn't changed. Must be hard if your boss isn't interested in money. I'm not saying he has to run a cafe on the side like you do, Takagi-san. You said he hasn't changed. Has Higuruma-san always been like that? I don't think so. If anything, he's probably gotten worse. When he was working at my place, he was in charge of dangerous driving injuries. More specifically, drunk driving cases. The defendant was 19 years old, and he was pressured by the people at his workplace into driving under the influence of alcohol. But the people involved all collaborated their stories. He couldn't prepare money to settle it outside of court, and he also couldn't get a suspended sentence either. Liar! You told me that I'd be found not guilty. You only told him that you'll try to get him a suspended sentence and didn't say anything about him being found not guilty. But you learned your lesson, right? You should quit being the criminal defense of impossible cases like this. Rescuing the weak, that's noble and all, but us lawyers can only do so much without understanding from the court and the prosecutor. There's no need to continue just to gain unwarranted resentment from your client. They've been pushed into a corner both mentally and financially. I can't blame them for taking their anger out on me. How are you holding up mentally, Higuruma-kun? I do not blame him. Higuruma is 1,000,000,000% right. I will give the man major props. It's hard. Being a lawyer ain't easy. My dad was one. He was a lawyer for the Department of Labor. And my aunt was a partner at a law firm. Yeah. My dad's side of the family is full of lawyers. So I know. Verdict, the defendant is not guilty. He really won. It's not over yet. They'll appeal it right away. Ooh, look at that shit. See? Court of public opinion. Equality judgment. As long as you have money, even a murderer can be acquitted. Dude, these motherfuckers don't understand shit. This is why you read court documents. SCOTUS is another one where you read court documents. Read fucking court opinions. Read them. Let's see. How much did they bribe? The judiciary is dead. The prosecutor is useless. Ooh, suspicious not guilty verdict. Former judge, it's bribery. Article refers to the remarks of the crooked lawyer. Former judge says it's Motherfucker, you weren't. No. Shut the fuck up. The stolen objects were not found in your room. There was someone who went missing from the nonprofit organization soon after the crime. Why aren't they bitching about the organization? Something really fucked up about this. Sounds like some former judges were bribed by the organization to shut the fuck up. Because you would think that they would go after the media would go after the organization that is shady as shit. But no. And you were found on the security cameras of a convenience store during the estimated time of crime derived from the bodies. So those were the deciding factors. Good thing you aren't the type who cooks for themselves. Higuruma sensei, thank you very much. Don't call me sensei, and don't get ahead of yourself. We still have the secondary trial. I worked really hard too. That's not what I was talking about. Thank you for believing in me. Appeal trial, secondary trial, guilty, verdict, life in prison. Opposed to the lawyer's side, which has a limited budget and human resource, the district attorney just has to put more taxpayers' money and manpower to find the evidence. That's fine. That's just how it is. But in the secondary trial, the attorney's side didn't provide any new evidence. Instead, they simply made an absurd claim for burden of proof, saying that there is no reason to suspect the missing person of the crime. The sentence was overturned. Oh, God. The tertiary trial by the Supreme Court has a narrow gate. Appeals hardly ever make it up to them. It's difficult to even have them hear a new case. From the start, this trial was a foregone conclusion of a guilty verdict. This is when that is a rare thing. That is very rare. When you have the court of public opinion sway convictions like that, that is where it is fucked up. And you are using your taxpayer dollars for that. That is very fucked up. That's why organizations like the Innocence Project exist. Why do you look at me with those eyes? How are you holding up mentally, Higuruma-kun? I don't consider myself a savior of the weak. It's always been my nature that I'm unable to ignore something that I felt was wrong. That part of me was never fixed. The goddess of justice blinds her eyes for equality under the law, and people are capable of turning a blind eye to anything if it's to save their own skin. Meanwhile, in order to avoid shaking off the hands that reach out to me for help, if no one else does, I want to keep my eyes open. If there are any objections to this decree, please submit a petition within 15 days, including today. Higuruma-san, everyone come back. We're having a retrial. Ooh. The Mallet of Wrath opens up a cursed courtroom. Calling game player Higuruma Hiromi. Ooh, next chapter, Itadori and company finally head into a colony. The player who awaits them there is... Dude, I do not blame Higuruma for being like this. We've had that, and we've seen this before, where there are cases like this where the court of public opinion wins out because they are afraid of the mob. It's so stupid when that happens. But again, there's organizations like, in the U.S. anyway, there's organizations like the Innocence Project and all that. But I will say this, though. I'm going to say this. We've seen this kind of shit in California where, for example, the voters vote no on something. And then we see our politicians overturn our votes. They will use any means necessary to do so. They will do it. It's fucked up as hell. They will. They will abuse it. But mofos underestimate the power of the people. They do. They underestimate the power of the justice system. They do. Because, first of all, that judge that did that shit should freaking step down from the bench immediately. That DA is fucking corrupt as hell. That DA that prosecutor. That prosecutor is fucked up, and that prosecutor needs to be like if ideally what would happen, and we've seen this happen actually. I think we saw this happen in Atlanta actually with their DA, in regards to a recent case that the Atlanta district attorney was corrupt already. You already knew there was corruption cases going on with them, and yeah, it didn't end so well. But yeah, that sounds like there might be something going on with this prosecutor too. The thing that I just found odd about this whole situation is, why wasn't the media talking about the shady organization? Why? That's the thing that gets me, is why not the organization? Why? Who was the real ones that were bribing? Was it the organization? It wasn't the lawyer that was bribing. No, it was the nonprofit organization that had to be bribing. And then you gotta wonder, what about the seniors? Where are they in this? Where are the families of the seniors? You gotta wonder what their thoughts on this are. That's the other thing that's the other thing I'm thinking about. What about them? What about them? I hope that Gege goes into that. I hope that Higuruma exposes that bullshit, because that isn't fair. That is not fair that they are they are the victims. The seniors are the real victims in all this. I am just saying. But I digress. Because if you have, and I wonder if why this is happening is because they do not want to be embarrassed that you have organizations, nonprofit organizations, abusing the earthquake relief fund. I wonder if that is it. I am just saying, because we have seen several charitable organizations do this. We've seen, like, American Red Cross as an example of abusing charity funds. We've seen it amongst the many charitable organizations doing this. And by the way, make sure you investigate the charities that you are donating to. I'm very curious what you guys thought of this chapter. I will say this as well. I know that I don't know too much about Japan's justice system. I know that a lot of the European justice systems are extremely corrupt. There's a lot of activist judges in Western Europe in particular that I know of. Obviously, you got the shit in countries like Russia and all that. Of course, you got because of course how the government's set up there. But I know, like, in Western Europe, and I think England is, I don't know if I would include England there as well. I think I gotta include England, but I'm not. Yeah, I will include England too. But yeah, throughout, I would just say throughout the Western world, there's a lot of corruption in the justice system. There is. I'm not saying the U.S. justice system is perfect, but if you have your ducks in a row for the U.S. justice system, if you follow everything, if you have all your paperwork, if you have standing, if you have the laws right in front of you and you bring it to the court, yeah, they can't fuck with you. They cannot fuck with you in that courtroom. I'm just saying. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. If you love what I'm doing and want to help keep this channel alive so I could keep bringing you more Jujutsu Kaisen content, there's a few ways you could do that. You could donate to my Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, purchase something off my Amazon wishlist, all that's in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, friend me on PlayStation Network. That is in the description box below as well. Till next time, Nerdigans, I will be seeing you later.